All right, let's face it. Most of us live a very sedentary life. Sitting at a desk or computer all day really can take a toll on us. And more than just your eyes. It affects your posture, your metabolism, risk of anxiety and depression, just to name a few. And this can then lead to even more serious complications down the road, like severe back pain, cardiovascular, and as well as digestion issues. So have you ever noticed as well how your posture also affects your confidence and how people actually see you and your mood? You might not be aware of this. So in going in line with this week's posture challenge that was released on Sunday and my years of yoga knowledge and experience, I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity for me to help you, for you to make a few corrections with a few simple, easy poses. Now, you don't have to get all dressed up in your workout gear to do these. You can do these at your office, on the beach, wherever you are. And I encourage you to do these a few times a day. Now remember, it's not going to correct itself overnight, but you will become aware and you will start to notice the difference when you incorporate even just one of these practices regularly. Now, in yoga, there's actually quite a bit of emphasis put on chest openers and hip openers. Any guesses why? Yep, you guessed it, aging. We focus on the chest because as we age, we notice that people begin to slump and slouch. So think about some of the older people that you know in your life right now. Do they kind of have a hunchback? We also put a focus on the hips, which I'm not going to get into detail with today, but I wanted to point this out because it is the leading injury in the older generation. And all of these things can be prevented. So I'm here to help you take a proactive approach and prevent some of that from happening to you. And it's not too late, no matter your age. These exercises and poses can be done by anyone. Shall we begin? Okay, so now we're going to get into the poses. Now, these poses, like I said, can be done absolutely anywhere. Now, I'm going to show you today a few variations of them just so that you, if you're someone who maybe can't get up and down from the floor, you can use a chair. So there's no excuses. There's no reason why you can't do these. And I'm going to show different variations, maybe a little bit more advanced or more opening for you. So the way that our posture, you might be, if you saw the picture in the post that I shared on Sunday's challenge, you'll notice like the different variations of posture. So there's the sway back, there's the head forward, a lot of different options. So I just want to show you, this is probably the wrong shirt to wear, but you'll get the idea. All right. So one of the poses that we actually practice in yoga a lot is called mountain pose. And how it starts off is you place your feet about a fist apart. Now, some yoga practices, they have the feet directly beside, but anatomically, your body would naturally kind of lay this way. So this is the way that I teach. So your feet are firmly planted. Now, often what happens, in my case, I do have a little bit of a sway back. So I need to tuck my tailbone. So I kind of tilt my pelvic bone. So I kind of tuck the tailbone underneath, kind of like I'm rolling it. Or another really great example with the pelvic is, imagine that it is a bowl, and it kind of is a bowl. So we don't want to tip the bowl forward or tip the bowl back. We want the bowl in that neutral position, so just tipping slightly. Now you might not have to tip, it just depends on your pelvic. I know I have a sway back because I can see it in the mirror. So as well, once you have your pelvic bone kind of activated, your upper thighs will activate here as well. Now we're going to roll the shoulders back. We're going to allow the shoulders. You'll notice here that I have my shoulders over my hips. My hips are over my knees are over my ankles. And I lift my chin just slightly. So lifting, elongating through the top of the head. Imagine a string lifting through the top of the head. And as well, as soon as you open the chest, as soon as you open the shoulders or kind of drop those shoulders away from the ears, the hands will, again, anatomically just kind of open. Your hands, if you were just a skeleton, your hands would simply be open like this with those shoulders back and in that proper posture. So that can be used as your very first one, just checking your alignment. And this pose alone can help with your core because you're really helping to kind of activate and draw that core to the back of the spine. And as well, you're opening the chest. You're allowing those shoulders to release up, and you kind of slide those shoulder blades down the down the spine. All right, so that's our first one. That's pretty easy, right? But in this pose, you could, as an advanced yogi, I could stand here for 5 minutes and be sweating. So it's an active pose, but it's also really important, or really great for posture. All right, so the next one I'm going to show you is called cow face pose. Now, cow face pose can be done on the ground, but for today's example, I'm going to actually just use my chair that I have here. And we're going to place the strap. So you can use a strap, you can use a belt, you can use a bathrobe tie, anything that's longer. It doesn't have to be too long for this pose anyways. Now again, we're going to lengthen through the top of the head. Now, we have our strap on the right shoulder. We are going to reach around with our left arm, and we're going to have that left hand grab up the strap as high as we possibly can. As high as we can. All right. With our right hand, we're going to draw that hand forward. We're going to bend at the elbow, and then we're going to bend at the shoulder, and then reach down the strap. Now you might be able to, as you're holding that strap, you might be able to walk those fingers closer to one another. Now, often in this pose, sometimes I see people kind of leaning their head forward. Let's see if we can keep the head lifted, keep that chest open, and we're going to drop the bottom hand towards the earth. So this is also going to help to stretch into the tricep area, but it's also going to help to open the chest. Good. So we'll do the other side. You always want to bring balance to your body. Now, if you are looking after an injury in a shoulder, because this one can definitely, I do have a shoulder injury that I always have to be aware of, it is important to make sure that it never hurts. You never want to hurt in any of these poses, and the majority of the ones that I'm going to show you, you shouldn't be, but this one, if you do have shoulder issues, so this is my bad shoulder, so I can't go up as high on that strap, and I just listen to my body, and it's okay. All right, so we're going to release the hand forward, so just changing sides, left hand forward, bending at the left elbow, bending at the left shoulder, and then reaching down the strap. Now you might not even need a strap. You might be able to interlock those fingers together on your own and not require the strap at all. The strap just kind of helps us to lengthen our arms so that we're able to go into certain poses. So again, lifting the chin, so just checking that we're not dropping the head forward. Our head's really heavy, and that causes a lot of extra strain on our neck. Okay, so another standing pose option that you can use is camel pose. Now, camel can also be done down on the ground, but I wanted to show you options that you could do anywhere, okay? Getting down on the ground might look a little weird, unless you're by yourself. All right, so camel pose, all you're gonna do is you're gonna stand nice and tall, find that tall position. We're going to place the hands on the lower lumbar. So hands are, thumbs are to the outer hip, fingertips are pointing down. And what we're going to do here is we're going to draw those elbows towards each other. You're going to notice this chest right across the chest. Now you can choose to stay as you are. We're lifting our chin here slightly just to keep that chin in line with the floor. Now we might be okay, if it's okay with the neck, we may take the gaze up, and we may even come into a gentle back bend. But again, only doing this if the back is okay to do so. But as we come back, our elbows kind of open up, so we want to draw those elbows together here again. Take some nice big breaths. Good, again, you can make the choice. You can keep your gaze forward, you can take your gaze up, you can bring a back bend in or not. So that's the camel option. Camel down on the ground is a little more complicated, so we'll just leave that one for today. So we're going to take ourselves flat down onto our belly for our first pose, and we're going to do what we call cobra. So I just want to make sure that you're able to see me here on the camera. So we're going to bring our hands so that they're right beside the chest. And what we're going to do here is we're going to press the tops of the feet into the mat, so that's going to kind of make those knees lift away from the earth. And we're going to lengthen long through the top of the head, and we're going to lift the chin away, lifting the chest away from the earth. Now, it's okay if maybe you're just an inch, you might be an inch away, you might be 10 inches away. It's all the same for you, like depending on your body. So everyone will look completely different in our cobra pose. Now we lengthen long through the top of the head. Our hands are simply just hanging out. So you can lift those hands away to make sure the lower back is doing the work here. Now this pose not only opens the chest, but it also helps to strengthen into that lower back as well as into that upper chest. So from here you can release down nice and slow, and we'll press back into child's pose. So just coming back, dropping those glutes back onto the heels. Your arms might be extended long for extended child's pose. Your forehead might come all the way down to the mat, it might not. And from here, you can just allow, our child's pose just kind of helps to stretch into the lower back, stretch into those upper arms. Now, if there's shoulder issues, or maybe you're just choosing that you don't want those arms long, you can always drop the hands beside the ankles and come into what we call just child's pose, just regular child's pose. And you can choose to stay here, or you may even, again, roll forward and do this a few times, lifting up. Taking some deep breaths here. So often we have a tendency of holding our breath here. So this also helps to strengthen into the core, which of course will help our posture as well. So again, you can just slide back into child's pose. All right, so what we're going to do next is plank pose. Now plank pose can be done a variety of different ways here as well. So you can take a modified option down on your knees, or you can go into a full plank. Now, no matter which option you've taken, we have nice wide fingers. We also have the heels of our hand directly below our elbows, directly below our shoulders. Our hips are not sagging, or our bum is not up. We want a plank that is nice and strong from the shoulder to the knee, or shoulder to the ankle. Now, as we're pushing up, we're kind of opening those shoulder blades. We're lifting the belly here. Good, and release down. Now you're probably wondering, how the heck is that a chest opener? Well, it's not. But what it is when we have a strong core, it helps us to have a strong back, which then of course helps us to have a stronger posture. So doing yoga is not just about stretching. Yoga is about building and complementing and stretching all together. So plank will help you to increase your strength so that you have a stronger posture. Now, for those that are maybe not wanting to be down on the floor, you can actually do yoga in a chair, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment, but I want to show you one other transition that you can do from your plank. All right, so we're in our plank, whether we are in a full plank or a modified version down on the knees. And from here, what we can do is we can roll into downward facing dog. Now our down dog, you might take just a small step to bring those feet a little flatter to the earth. They don't have to touch down. Now if you have tight hamstrings, you might even bend into those knees. We're tucking the ears between the arms and we're lengthening the spine long. Now pressing our fingertips into the earth, taking the pressure off our wrists. Now this pose not only helps to strengthen in the arms and the shoulders, but it also helps in the back, helps with the core, and as well with our legs. So you can straighten into those legs if available, but keeping that bend if everything is really tight. Our whole objective here is though to lengthen long through the spine, so we want a nice long spine here. Beautiful. All right, so then you could always go back to plank if you wanted. Again, you could do it as many times as you like. All right, so I'm going to show some options that are helpful for, maybe you're not wanting to get down on the ground or you have weaker wrists. The chair is a great option. And I'm going to tell you, a down dog with a chair feels amazing. All right, so if you want to do plank, you can either use a wall or you can use a chair. So that's your choice. So if I don't know if I'll still be on the camera. Yeah, so you would simply press here. Now, you might not get as strong. You're going to press into the wall. So that will help to open the shoulder blades, open the scapula. And draw the belly in. So you don't have the body weight here, but you're still going to be strengthening up into that back. And if you like, you could always do little presses to the wall as well. But if we're using a chair, you want to make sure that your chair is secure, that it's not going to slide. And same thing, we're just going to, as I say that, my chair shifts on me. You're going to press in to the hands here. Again, having those hands in line with our shoulders. And you can make the choice here if you just want to simply stay as you are here, or you could make small little pumps, but you don't have to. But that will actually help to strengthen the upper chest for you. Now, from here, in our plank, so we'll go into plank, and then into down dog. Now, you may need to step away. Basically, what we're doing is we're just allowing the body to come into an L shape. And we drop the ears between those arms. And man, I tell you, it feels different, but it feels really good. It's definitely a nice stretch. And our legs are nice and straight here. You could always activate those upper thighs if you wanted to add a little more. Draw the belly button up. Take some nice big breaths. Good. And that is it. All right, so thank you so much. I hope that these are going to be tools that you use on the daily. Like I said, I encourage you to do these a couple times a day because it will help, especially if you are someone that you're noticing already that you're starting to round in the back. They're going to help you. If you are someone who is suffering from lower back pain, you know, cobra, and down dog and child's pose, those are all poses that are going to help you strengthen that area. And yes, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable when you begin, but with the consistent practice, you'll alleviate some of that discomfort with time. So I hope that you found this helpful, and if there's any questions about any of it, I encourage you to either send me a DM or pop them down below, because if you have a question, there's chances are somebody else might have that same question. So thank you for watching, and take care, and let me know if you use these and how you found them today. So we do core strength to help improve the posture and improve the core strength. And then we have some stretching poses to actually help. So yoga is not just about stretching, it is about building and stretching, working those complementary muscles so that your body works optimally. So I hope you found this helpful, and have a beautiful day, and I look forward to hearing how you made out with these tips. Now, many of you might know as well, if yoga is something you're being curious about it, I do have a yoga membership, and everything is online. It's very convenient. If you would like a little bit more information about that, just make sure you comment below or send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to give you more information. Happy posture correction. Take care, everyone.